In this episode, we're talking about the guest check-in and check-out process and the things that you should be doing, so stay tuned. Vacation Rental Machine helps hosts just like you learn how to start, grow, and scale your short-term rental business. This show is all about creating systems that help you automate your business, giving you more time and money freedom. If you're ready to start living the vacation rental life, then subscribe to this podcast today. Come and join us on our Facebook group, The Host Nation, where we'll be talking about starting, automating, and scaling a short-term rental business. Now, on to the show. Hey, welcome back, Host Nation, to another episode of Vacation Rental Machine. I am with John Bell, and we are talking about guest check-in and check-out processes. So this is such an important part of your vacation rental machine because this is going to be where you're guiding your guests through the process of staying at your unit and then finishing it off and getting that review. So John, what's the first touch point of your guest for the check-in process?
All right. So right before check-in, of course, or once they book, they get a confirmation message. That confirmation message basically says, thank you for booking with us, has some generic information about the location, has the property address, and that some more information will be coming out soon. It also includes the instructions on how the smart lock will also work. So that's within the first message. If they book 30 days in advance, that's most likely the only message they're going to receive unless they start messaging after that. I do ask in that message the reason why they booked with me. So sometimes there's some response or back and forth about that in general.
So John, obviously you're not just cramming everything that the guest needs to know into one single message. So there's got to be a sequence of events that happen with these messages. What do those messages look like?
All right. So after the confirmation message, you end up getting another message that is more of your check-in instructions. This is very detailed. I actually still include directions from the airport to the property. So this is actually more on the longer side. It's not just a link. It's for those international people that might be coming in and don't have cell access immediately. Maybe they just need to hop on Wi-Fi before they can download and get some information. So it's really there for them. They get that message about an hour before check-in. I send just a sum up of all the important stuff. That includes my phone number. That message really is to help the people that don't really read anything. I mean, people just book and you don't see or hear anything from them until there's an issue. This last message that I send right before checkout is pretty much a quick glance of, hey, this is how you get into the building. This is how you get into the door. Here's my number if you got any issues.
So John, you said that the first message is going to be your confirmation message. Your second is going to be your check-in instructions. Your third message, an hour before they check in, is typically going to be just a quick summary as well as a good point of contact for those people that don't like to read things. And then the fourth message, what is that going to look like?
That actually is a post-check-in message. It's a message that goes out after they check in. It just says, welcome. Here's the house rules. I just want to reiterate them. If you can acknowledge them, that would be great. At the same time, let us know if there were any issues upon check-in with the room. We can address those issues.
Now, John, I know that there are going to be different times and different types of situations. Some people book last minute. So for those people that are booking last minute, are they just going to get a flood of automated messages like 1, 2, 3, 4 all at the same time? How does that work?
All right. So the people that book last minute, they actually get a shortened version of that by one message. We skip over the pre-check-in message that goes out 2 days before they check in. And we really just send the confirmation and the quick notes and then the post-check-in message after they check in.
Now, in some of the previous videos, we were talking about automated messaging and how that helps with your workflow. Is this a task, let's say, if someone does book last minute, that it automatically knows to eliminate one of those messages?
Absolutely. Just a check mark within Smart B&B.
So after the guest is checked in, are you messaging them back and forth, or what does that look like from the interim between the check-in period to the checkout?
Really, after they check in, I send that post-check-in message a few hours after check-in. From then, it can really go radio silent. It's really up to them, or it's up to how long their stay is. For instance, a short-term stay, they might only get the pre-check-out message when it's time to check out the next day. For the people that are not checking out quickly or within a certain number of days, I do have a long-term stay check-in message that repeats after so many days. So this basically just says, hey, just checking in. Do you need anything? Would you like a mid-stay cleaning? just checking the pulse of the guest, because more than likely, I probably haven't talked to them at all. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you just might assume, I don't know what's going on. Are they even there?
Now, the last message workflow is going to be about the checkout process. So what does that look like?
My checkout process in general is very easy. It's really just put the dirty dishes inside of the dishwasher and turn out the lights, collect your items, and go ahead and leave. So we send that along with that we would like a 5-star review, and we hope that you really enjoyed your stay. Hope that you make it to your next destination, wherever that is. And I also send the communication about my website and that you should rebook with me directly and save a little bit of money.
I think that's an important thing as a professional host, that you are getting that direct booking. But does Airbnb look at that and say like, hey, you're trying to steal business away from us, and potentially you end up in trouble?
No, Airbnb only cares about before the person books. So after they book through Airbnb, Airbnb is already paid, right? So they don't care about your rebooking or whatever is going on. You're free to exchange information, websites, phone numbers. So use that opportunity wisely. Make sure that if they got to rebook, that they can rebook directly with you. If your place is unavailable, I'm sure that guest will go right back to Airbnb to book another place.
John, I think what you shared is really key, because a lot of people might look at a long booking and they might think like, oh, if they could just book directly with me and not go through Airbnb, I can, save that difference and be able to, make a little bit of money. But Airbnb, like you said, they do monitor that pre-message, that pre-check-in process. So you do want to be aware of what you are saying to the guest. But after that guest checks out, Airbnb has already been paid. So you have the ability to be able to offer a direct booking the next time that they do come, if it is someone like a corporate client.
Exactly. I mean, it's just an offer. It's really up to the guest to go there and redo it anyway. Sometimes, like you said, just a corporate client, it might even be a requirement that they have to go through Airbnb. But when they travel personally, if you have more exposure in different places, maybe they'll go to your site and just see what you got.
In the last episode, we were talking about reviews and how important this business is with the reviews, but part of that checkout process is also collecting those reviews. So what do you do when a guest, let's say they've checked out and they don't leave your review? What's the process after that look like?
So like we talked about on the last episode, I include or send a follow-up message about 5 days after they've checked out that just says, hey, if you haven't already, here's how Airbnb reviews their host. Here's a link to exactly what that means for us. It's very important. If it was HomeAway, then it also has the HomeAway link. So whatever platform I'm using, it has that information there for them. And I just ask again for another 5-star review. If they've already sent it, I'll get a message back like, hey, I've already done this. I had a great stay. See you next time. If they haven't, then they'll normally go in and do it. The other thing that I do is I do their review about 7 days after they've checked out. Sometimes that is the last prompt that they need to just go ahead and submit their own review.
So as you can see, this process is pretty simple, but it is so key because you are guiding the guest through this whole process. This is your communication with the guest. So if you do want our message templates, what we do use for the guests, then we're going to be offering that for free. So all you need to do is go to the show notes of this page and you can get those message templates for yourself. All you need to do is provide us your email and we can send those over to you right away. So with all that being said, Host Nation, keep on hosting. Hope you hosts found value in this episode. If you did, please go on over to iTunes and leave us a review, as that would greatly support the show. If you'd like to connect with John, the community, and I, then go on over to our Facebook group, The Host Nation. Talk to you hosts in the next episode. Keep on hosting.